What's up, my Ninja Warriors? This is Greninja Warrior here, and I'm going to be bringing you my Week 1 NUPL match versus Davon. Now, funnily enough, last NUPL, I actually played Davon, so this is technically a rematch during the same exact week of NUPL, I believe. And what happened last time is that he beat me. I ended up playing a bit passively at times, and I didn't. Well, I had like a few opportunities to win, but I wasn't quite able to capitalize on them, and it was a super close game. So yeah, I know that Davon is a pretty good NU player, and I know that when it comes to tournament situations like this, he usually plays pretty decently. So I gotta watch out for that. So I'm going to be bringing a Specs Obama Snow team. Specs Obama Snow, Defensive Wishiwashi, SD Savali Dark with Iron Head. I mean, SD Iron Head is mostly for Clefairy, but it can definitely be for Alchemy as well. And I have the Spadef Stealth Rock Stunfisk with Yawn, and I have the Colbert Trick Room Iron Defense Kofag, which is pretty much the most standard set they've been running. So looking at my opponent's team, he's got quite a few threats. Toxicroak and Malamar can definitely be a little bit problematic if I don't play well around them. Since I don't have the best fighting answers in the world, I mostly have Wishiwashi as a check, and I have the Psychic Fangs on the Dark Volley. Also, Alchemy can definitely be a threat as well, because if it has the Sweet Veil ability, which is the ability that makes it immune to sleep, then I'm gonna be unable to yawn it with my Stunfisk Galar, since that ability it makes Alchemy immune to yawn and sleep powder. And if that thing starts setting up Calm Minds and Acid Armors, that could be really bad, since I don't actually have a Toxic user in this team. Now, funnily enough, after this battle, I actually changed Rotom Frost to Toxic, just because I realized how weak I am to set up Alchemy, and I want to at least have some type of check to that thing if I go up against it in the future. But for now, I'm going to be running Will-O-Wisp instead. So here, also looking at his team, I knew that either Toxicroak or Malamar had to be Scarf, because it's not very viable to have a team where every single Pokemon gets outsped by Savali. And in order to at least help to check that thing, you have to have at least a Scarf Croak or a Scarf Malamar or some type of priority user on your team in order for it to really make sense. So I believe I lead off with Wishiwashi because it can U-turn Malamar, it can take a hit from Lantern if it has to. Basically, it's just a really bulky pivot, and I can basically U-turn out on anything, or just throw up Scalds for damage. I lead Wishiwashi as he leads Pharaoh Seed. Now here, I believe I just go right for the Scald. Yeah, because I was just trying to fish for a burn on the Pharaoh Seed. I also want to wear this Pokemon down, because if I'm going to win with Savali Dark, I definitely want to put this thing in range of +2 multi-attack, as well as putting the Pharaoh Seed closer into Earthquake range from Stunfisk. So I go for the Scald here real quick. I'm gonna go for that. Sorry, excuse me. Alright, so I go right for the Scald. As I do not get the burn, I believe he just gets up rocks, which is a little bit annoying because I'm actually Specs Abomasnow, which means that if he's able to pressure my Rotom Frost enough, it's going to be really difficult to get off a defog, and my Abomasnow is going to be taking 25% each turn. And because I do not want to take a knockoff or a Elite Seed here, so I believe I just U-turn right out into Abomasnow to immediately pressure him with Specs Blizzard. As I'm just gonna go right into Abomasnow, go on the Elite Seed, which is perfect. I also get a little bit of Sand Chip on the Pharaoh Seed as well, which is gonna be really good to weaken that thing. As he protects, which is fine. I mean, you're just weakening yourself and putting yourself closer in the range of +2 Dark Volley. As I go right for the Blizzard. Now here, looking back at it, I think Hard Stunfisk was probably too obvious of a play, and I think it's highly likely that you over predict and go for Scald, or you double into one of your fighting types. So I actually go Hard Stunfisk. In hindsight, I probably could have just gone for Blizzard, because Davon knows that I'm not that bad of a player, and he knows that I'm gonna probably try to block the Volt Switch to prevent him from immediately being able to bring out one of his fightings and threaten my team. So I hard switch into the Stunfisk, As Davon is going to capitalize that on that and go right for the Scald. Thankfully no burn, as I can still throw off. I can still potentially throw off Earthquakes here. I could Stealth Rock, but because it's probably boots Driftblim, I don't think Stealth Rocks are going to be very useful versus him. And I'd rather prioritize defogging with Rotom Frost if possible, since if possible, I do not want to have to deal with Stealth Rocks for the rest of this game, since I ideally do not want my Bombasnow taking 25% chip each turn. I don't really want my Wishy-Washy taking rocks damage either. So I go right for the Earthquake just to get damage off. As he goes, or I go for Yawn. My bad. Sorry. I'm thinking of a different turn. I go right for the Yawn, so that way I condition him to have to double switch out again, because he's not going to want any of his Pokemon to go to bed. And how Yawn works is it's basically a 2-turn Spore, where the following turn, if they stay in, they get put to sleep immediately. So if he stays in, then he has a sleeping Pharaoh Seed if he stays in. So he goes Malamar. I know he's going to switch out, so I just go right for the Earthquake. I go right for the Earthquake. And I do notice that this Malamar does not have leftovers. And as I said before, I knew that either Toxicroak or Malamar had to be Scarf. So the second I don't see leftovers Malamar, I know that it's going to be that Choice Scarf set. And because I'm running Protect on Stunfisk, I can just go right for the Protect and scout for what he's going to go lock himself into, as he goes for the knockoff. Now here I could go Dark Volley, but I actually want to keep them on healthy, since it's kind of a win con versus him. I mean, honestly, I probably could have just gone into the Dark Volley and kept my Stunfisk healthy to switch into like Lantern to switch into Lantern at least one more time if I want to as well. But I just go right for the Yawn, so that way I can force something out and get up rocks. And I know that I said that I wanted to prioritize the defog with Rotom, but I mean honestly, it's my first game of the season. I was definitely feeling a little bit nervous, and I figured that I didn't really need Stunfisk, because if it's Sweetville, Alchemy is not doing much. Malamar beats me 1v1, Toxicroak beats me 1v1, Pharaoh Seed probably beats me as well. Like, the only thing Stunfisk is really useful for is threatening stuff out with Yawn. So I just go right for that. As I'm going to let my Stunfisk get knocked here. Go right for the Yawn. Yep, I believe I just throw up rocks here. Yeah, I throw up rocks, and I just go right into the Rotom. As he goes right for the Will-O-Wisp and misses. Now, I believe I defog? Do I defog? He goes Lantern. I just defog, I believe, to get rid of the rocks. I double to Abomasnow. Yeah, see, I definitely was not thinking this through. Like, look again, like looking back at it, I probably should have not Stealth Rocked. Like, I think the better play was to just get more chip on the Malamar and Earthquake, and then go Rotom to defog, if anything. Because at that point, it's pretty obvious that you're either going Pharaoh Seed or Driftblim, and if he goes Driftblim, that's a free defog. And if I get up a defog, then my Abomasnow no longer has to worry about rocks. So I'm gonna double Harden to Abomasnow because I'm really confident that he's gonna go into that Lantern, and I want to be able to get a kill here. And here I actually Earth Power because I believe I expect him to go Toxicroak or something, and I also want to go for something that can knock out Lantern. Although looking back at it, like 5/6 of his team literally get hit by Blizzard. And even if he stays in, I weaken Lantern, and I basically put it in range of either Rotom or I just put it in range of Body Press from Kofagrigus. So yeah, that was a bit of a mistake on my part. I go for the Earth Power as he goes Drifblim on the Earth Power. So yeah, I definitely messed this up for sure. Also, I probably should have prioritized defogging with Rotom Frost, so that way I can actually keep Abomasnow a little bit healthier, while also giving it more switch-ins to his team. So I go harder into Rotom here, since it's a pretty good answer to Drifblim. As my opponent is finally going to land the Will-O-Wisp this time. I believe I just go right for the Blizzard. I don't want to play game. I don't really want to play around with this Drifblim. I just want to get rid of it. You know, it can be annoying because it could potentially get aftermath damage off of my Savali. It can annoy my Stunfisk. It can annoy the Copagrigus sweep, etc. Makes the Copagrigus sweep a little bit harder. I go for the Blizzard, knock him out. As yeah, he's gonna go into Toxicroak. Now here I'm actually running just enough speed to outspeed Abomasnow, but this is also something that I changed after the match. Because after I played against Davon, I actually decided to change the Rotom Frost to max speed, because being able to outspeed Toxicroak is actually pretty big. Because if I was max speed Rotom, I could have actually outsped him and got a Volt Switch chip here, which I think would have been pretty big. But yeah, I just stay in. I'm actually slower than him, so I'm gonna get outsped here as he goes for a Drain Punch to knock me out. I mean, even if I was faster, he would have been able to get most of that recovery back with the Drain Punch regardless, but it still would have been nice to at least get some chip off on the Toxicroak. So I'm gonna lose my Rotom. So again, like I probably should have prioritized defogging with Rotom Frost, so that way my Abomasnow wouldn't be under so much pressure from the Stealth Rock. So yeah, if I were to play this matchup over, I would definitely play this sequence slightly different. But either way, I think I still played decently up until this point, and I put myself in a position to where I weaken Pharaoh Seed, I weaken Malamar, I weaken Lantern, like everything on his team is still getting chipped away, and I'm definitely still in a position to where Dark Volley can win the game for sure. As I'm gonna go Wishy Washy just to take the hit, as he goes right for the knockoff, which is fine. I just knock him out with Earthquake because I know that because with Drifblim gone, his entire team pretty much gets hit by EQ. So I know that it's a risk-free play. As he goes Pharaoh Seed, as I believe I just U-turn, I go for Earthquake. I go for Earthquake, predicting the Gyro Ball, as he goes for Leech Seed. So I completely got that wrong. Like I wanted to go hard Abomasnow there so badly, but I thought he would Gyro. As I believe here, I just U-turn into Abomasnow, hoping that he'll just Leech Seed again or go for knockoff or something. As he ends up completely annihilating me with Gyro Ball, or I actually hard switch. I don't know why. I could have sworn I U-turned. Dang, I must have really not been thinking through, huh? Because I feel like U-turn would have been it would have been a more rewarding play. Because it would have allowed me to get off at least some chip on the Pharaoh Seed. So I really messed this sequence up. And I definitely could have won this game even easier if I had some slightly smarter plays for sure. He's gonna Gyro Ball knock me out. I did not expect Gyro Ball, but I really should have. And I really should have played this game slightly neater. And this is where the defog comes into play. Because if I had managed to get off a defog with my Rotom Frost, instead of trying to just mindlessly spam Yawn with Stunfisk, and just EQ everything, and try to get in the Rotom sooner and actually defog when I get in versus Driftblim versus Lantern, etc. Like, this game would have been so much easier. As I'm gonna immediately lose my Abomasnow, and this is kind of bad because I don't think that anything on my team can actually knock out this Pharaoh Seed now. So yeah, I really messed up. I should have preserved my Abomasnow a little bit better, because if I kept it to at least knock out this Pharaoh Seed later, it would have been so much better. And I can even use Abomasnow to threaten Alchemy with the Blizzard as well. As I believe I just go Kofag. Yeah, I go Kofag to threaten him with the body press as he goes Alchemy, just to take the hit and to basically wall the heck out of me. This Kofag set can't really do much to Alchemy, so I'm gonna have to immediately switch out. I go hard Stunfisk Galler to try and scare it out with Yawn, as he goes right for the recover. Now here, I'm honestly not sure if it's running Sweet Veil or Aroma Veil, but I go right for the Yawn, and it actually lets me Yawn him. Now this tells me that he does not have the right ability on his Alchemy, because if he had Sweet Veil, it would have actually not allowed me to Yawn him at all, and it would have said that Alchemy and its allies are protected from sleep. So this means that I can actually put Alchemy to bed. This is definitely important to note. And I'm gonna be able to force out the Alchemy here, since he does not want his win con getting put to sleep. So I'm gonna go right for the Earthquake, as it does 17% to Pharaoh Seed. Here I just pray that Earthquake knocks him out, so I don't have to deal with any Leech Seed shenanigans, and so I can just straight up knock him out before Pharaoh Seed can start Leech Seed protecting me up and starting to recover a bunch of HP and start to be really annoying. So yeah, getting rid of Pharaoh Seed is really big. But again, if I had doing so would have been so much more easier and effective. As he goes Lantern, I believe I just fought her off Stunfisk. I forget. Or no, I go Wishy-Washy, my bad. Because Wishy-Washy is basically in range of Malamar at this point. It doesn't really beat Alchemy 1v1 either, and I want to keep Stunfisk since that Mon has the ability to put Alchemy to bed. As he goes right for the Scald, as he can just Volt Switch here, I believe, to knock me out if he wants. Yep, as he goes right for the Volt Switch. The good thing about this is that Lantern is still getting worn down for my Savali Dark, because I'm gonna go right to Cobra Gregus, as I do have the Cobra Berry, and the Cobra Berry will let me easily take a knockoff, and potentially knock him out immediately with the Body Press, as my opponent is going to go right, as Davon goes right back into Alchemy, which is fine. I believe I just go right for the Body Press. Or I double into Savali Dark. My bad, because I know he's going Alchemy, and at this point, because I threw away my Abomasnow like a fool, I basically put myself in a really tough situation to where I have to make really aggro plays. So I knew he'd go Alchemy, and I doubled into Savali Dark so that way I can get off an Iron Head on this thing, and at least try to pressure the Alchemy and force it to recover later on, and maybe even get a flinch as well. And here I know he's gonna Dazzling Gleam, so I don't go for the Swords Dance. Now if Malamar was actually the leftover set instead of the Choice Scarf set, I probably would have just Swords Danced here and gone for game. But because his Malamar is Scarf, I know that even if I Swords Dance up here, yeah, I can maybe deal with Alchemy, but he's most likely going to Dazzling Gleam, and if he Dazzling Gleams, he gets damage on my Savali Dark, sacks Lantern, and then just goes Scarf Malamar, and I've effectively gained zero progress on the Alchemy. I essentially lose my Savali Dark by taking 60% from Dazzling Gleam, and I get revenged by Scarf Malamar. And I have a super low Savali Dark while still having to deal with a near full health Alchemy because I wasn't able to get off Iron Head chip, and because I went for Swords Dance, think I sweep. So I'll go right for the Iron Head here, since I cannot afford to Swords Dance at all because of that Scarf Malamar, as I'm able to get off a clean 41%. As he does go for Dazzling Gleam, which does do 60%. As here, I know he's just gonna sack Lantern, so I just go right for the Iron Head again in case he stays in. And even if he goes Lantern, I know for a fact that Iron Head into multi attack will easily knock him out. Multi attack does have 120 base power this gen. Knock him out. As he goes Malamar, I believe I just sack Stunfisk. Yeah, I sack Stunfisk because I need Kofa Gregus to live a hit from the Malamar later on. So that way I don't instantly lose to the knockoff of Malamar. Because if I go Kofa Gregus, I most likely just get instantly swept by knockoff, and I'd rather not instantly lose the game. So I'm forced to sack Stunfisk, knowing that Savali Dark is my only way to really damage the Alchemy now. Because if I go Stunfisk, he can probably just Iron Defense up or whatever, or Calm Mind, and then he can probably beat my Stunfisk Galar 1v1 even if I get off the sleep. So I don't want to put myself in that situation, and I'd rather rely on either an Iron Head, crit, or flinch on the Alchemy because of how I played my Abomasnow and because of how desperate I am to not lose to a setup Alchemy. So I'm gonna stack Stunfisk, as knockoff is gonna 2 KO me easily. He actually goes for superpower instead, so that's fine. I'm actually not sure why he's superpowered. I guess because I suppose it was his only way to knock out Savali Dark. Although the thing is, if I went hard Kofag there, I could have potentially doubled into Stunfisk and gotten off a Yawn, and that might have actually made things easier. But basically, I just didn't want to go Kofag because if he predicted me to go hard Kofag on the superpower and he went for knockoff, and I switch out my Savali Dark, the game is instantly over. So I'm trying to give myself a better chance to win. So that way, even if I don't win some type of 50-50, I at least have some chance to win instead of no chance at all. So I go Kofag here because I literally have to. He's locking his superpower. As here, I know he's going Alchemy, and if If I go for body press, he can literally just Dazzling Gleam, and I won't be able to get in my Savali Dark. So here I hard double into Savali Dark, knowing he's going to Alchemy, and this is it. This is my only chance. My only chance to win. I need to flinch at least one or two of the next Iron Heads. I need to either flinch this Dark Pulse, flinch the following one, or get a crit. So it all comes down to this. Do I get it? I go for the Iron Head, and I unfortunately do get the flinch. So really unfortunate for Davon, because if I didn't get any flinches at all, he could have potentially recovered up and swept with his Alchemy. As at this point, all I have to do is sack my Savali Dark, go Cobra Grievous, live the knockoff because I'm Cobra, and knock him out with the Body Press with ease. So yeah, very unfortunate endgame. I think if I played my Rotom Frost and my Abomasnow a little bit more intelligently, that it probably would not have come down to multiple double switches, and I could have potentially won a lot more comfortably as well. So yeah, GG's Davon. Definitely best of luck to him in the rest of the season. I hope that he ends up with a decent record, and I hope that he doesn't let this one loss because of a flinch get him down. I mean, either way, I'll definitely take that because basically my main goal was just to get a win versus Davon because of what happened last season. So I'll take it. I definitely got very lucky RNG wise, but it is what it is. Anyways, GG's to my man Davon. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will definitely be uploading more of my NUPL matches in the future. And I'm out. Peace.